They signed my refusal of treatment while I was fully conscious. 1 week later, I handed them their absolute ruin in front of 300 people. Pull the plug, Alex. Do it before the morning shift changes. That was my wife's voice, Mia, the woman I had shared a bed with for 25 years. I was lying in a critical care bed at Savannah General, completely trapped inside a shattered body, eyes sealed shut by trauma, but my hearing was dangerously sharp. Then my 26-year-old son Alex chimed in. His voice didn't shake at all. It was entirely transactional. If we sign the refusal of aggressive treatment now, the lawyers say the estate bypasses probate within 30 days because of the joint trust structure. We need this wrapped up before the financial quarter ends, Mom. I wanted to roar. I wanted to smash through the medical monitors, wrap my bare hands around their necks, and remind them exactly who built every single wall of the luxury world they slept in. Instead, I lay perfectly still. My heart rate monitor beeped in a steady, pathetic rhythm. A heavy truck had smashed my sedan into a concrete divider on Route 95 on a rainy Thursday night, and my family assumed the impact had turned my brain to mush. They thought I was a vegetable. They thought they were inheriting a fortune. They made a multi-million-dollar mistake, and I'm going to make sure it destroys them completely. You don't know what true silence is until you are forced to listen to the people you love plan your funeral like a corporate merger. For 4 more days, I became a ghost in my own ICU room. They didn't even pretend to grieve when the doctors left the room. On Saturday afternoon, my son Alex walked in. I raised him, paid his Ivy League tuition, bought his first apartment, and made him the vice president of my company, Vanguard Marine Solutions. He walked right up to my bedside, knocked his knuckles against the guardrail, and spoke to Mia. The commercial docks in Brunswick can be liquidated to a European buyer by next month, Alex said, his voice completely casual. I already spoke with their broker. We are looking at a clean $4 million in cash. Mia snorted. Make sure the paperwork doesn't require his physical signature. You can handle the notary stamp. You know a guy who doesn't ask questions. My daughter wasn't there because I don't have other children. It was just the 3 of us in our immediate household, but Mia had her own independent plans. Just make sure my personal gallery accounts are cleared first, Alex added, looking at his phone. I am not letting his outstanding business debts freeze my assets. Then Mia dropped the real anchor. Marcus is waiting for me at the hotel down the street, she whispered. I told him we are just waiting for the final signature from the attending physician. I want this over with, Alex. Sign the non-resuscitation order tonight. Marcus, a 32-year-old real estate developer I had personally loaned $100,000 to for a local commercial project. My wife was sleeping with him while my body was fighting for every single breath. The sheer, unadulterated fury that washed over me in that bed should have killed me. My chest felt like it was burning through the sheets, but I didn't let the monitors spike. I forced my mind into a dark, cold place. I am a logistics man. I built a marine shipping empire from a single rusty crane and 2 rented trucks. I know how to calculate weight, distance, and impact. If I reacted now, they would call a crooked lawyer, exploit a legal loophole, and walk away with half of my life's work. No. I needed to let them think they were winning. On the 9th day, the paralysis finally cracked. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. The room was dark, and the only person there was a young resident checking my IV line. I opened my eyes, looked him dead in the face, and gripped his wrist with everything I had. He gasped, dropping his clipboard. "Do not call my family," I whispered, my voice sounding like gravel grinding in a blender. "Call the chief of medicine, right now." By the time Mia and Alex strutted into the room 2 hours later, carrying expensive coffee and wearing oversized sunglasses, I had already spent an hour with the hospital administration and my personal security team. But when my family approached the bed, I gave them the performance of a lifetime. I slurred my words. I let my left eye drift. I blinked slowly, looking at them with the vacant, hollow stare of a man whose mind was permanently fractured. "Oh, Jordan," Mia cried, dropping her purse and rushing to my side. She pressed her face against my shoulder, sobbing loudly. It was an Oscar-worthy performance. "The doctors told us you might never wake up. We were praying for a miracle every single second." I could smell the expensive gin on her breath from the night before. "Where is the office?" I mumbled, keeping my voice thin, weak, and pathetic. "Where am I? What happened to the truck?" "It is completely taken care of, Dad," Alex said, patting my hand with his cold, manicured fingers. He didn't look me in the eyes. "I am taking care of everything, so you don't have to worry about a single thing. The business is in good hands. You just need to rest your mind. Don't think about money or contracts." "Good," I whispered, closing my eyes and pretending to drift off. "Good boy, I am so tired." They sent me home 3 days later to our waterfront estate in Savannah. I allowed Mia to play the doting nurse. I let her fluff my pillows, bring me bland soup, and check my vitals with a fake smile plastered across her face. Every time she touched me, my skin crawled. Every time Alex entered the room to tell me how much he respected my legacy, I had to bite the inside of my cheek until it bled, to keep from screaming the truth in his face. I stayed in that house for 2 weeks, playing the invalid, while my real work happened entirely in the dark. I didn't use our family attorney. Tom Briggs had been our counsel for 15 years, which meant Mia probably knew his schedule inside out. Instead, I reached out to a man named Vance. He was a corporate shark based out of Atlanta who specialized in asset recovery and high-stakes white-collar fraud. I also hired Silas, a private investigator who looked like a retired linebacker and moved like a shadow. 2 weeks after my release, while Mia was supposedly at a 3-day fitness seminar in Charleston, I got out of bed, dressed in plain clothes, and slipped out the back gate of my property into a rented SUV that Silas had parked down the road. We drove to a small, windowless office near the Savannah shipping docks. Vance was waiting for me, surrounded by stacks of financial ledgers and printed digital bank transcripts. "Your family is remarkably efficient at grand larceny, Jordan," Vance said, sliding a thick leather binder across the desk toward me. "Let's start with your son, Alex. Over the past 3 years, he has been using inflated vendor invoices from a shell company registered in Delaware called Horizon Marine Supply. The total amount siphoned out of your operational logistics accounts is exactly $900,000. $900,000, I repeated. The number didn't even shock me. I just felt a cold, hard knot tighten in my stomach. And my wife? Mia co-signed every single wire transfer, Silas intervened, tossing a stack of glossy, high-resolution photographs onto the table. And she wasn't just signing corporate papers, Jordan. She was spending your cash on her lover, Marcus. Here they are at a luxury resort in Miami Beach last week, while you were supposedly in a coma. Here they are at a dealership purchasing a luxury sports car worth $180,000. It is registered under her maiden name, but Marcus has been driving it exclusively. I looked at the photos. Mia was laughing, holding a glass of champagne, leaning against a man young enough to be her younger brother. I felt a violent wave of nausea hit me, but I forced it down. I commanded respect in the business world because I never let emotion dictate my strategy. I wasn't going to start now. "Is that all?" I asked, looking at Vance. "What is the total damage?" "Your son found out about your secondary investment portfolio limits 14 months ago," Vance explained, tapping a printed text log. Instead of managing it properly, he and Mia decided to accelerate the timelines. They moved an additional $700,000 from the corporate reserve account into a private wealth fund under Alex's name. They were all in on it, Jordan. Every single one of them. "Is that all?" I asked, my voice deadly quiet. "Not even close," Vance said. 2 days after your accident, while you were still hooked up to the ventilator, Alex used a forged power of attorney to file a quitclaim deed at the county courthouse. He transferred 50% ownership of your primary Savannah estate and your main shipping warehouse into his own name. The signature on the document is an absolute forgery. Our handwriting experts have already verified it. We can file criminal fraud and forgery charges by tomorrow morning. We can have Alex arrested at his desk. "No," I said, leaning back in my chair and staring at the ceiling. "Do not file anything yet. If we arrest Alex tomorrow, Mia will hire a high-priced defense team, hide the remaining liquidity in offshore accounts, and turn this into a messy, multi-year legal circus. I want them isolated. I want them exposed in a way they can never recover from." "What are you proposing?" Vance asked, raising an eyebrow. "In 2 weeks, Vanguard Marine Solutions is celebrating its 25th anniversary," I said, a slow, grim smile spreading across my face. "Mia has been planning a massive corporate gala for 3 months. She has invited 300 people, the mayor, the Port Authority Board, our biggest global shipping clients, the local media. She wants to use that stage to publicly announce my retirement due to medical incapacity and crown Alex as the new chief executive officer. Let her build the stage, Vance. Let her invite the audience. We are going to give them a show they will never forget." For the next 14 days, I went back to being the helpless husband. I let Alex visit me at the house to give me fake corporate updates. He would sit in my armchair, wearing a watch I bought him, telling me how the shipping volume was down, but he was stabilizing the clients. "You are a good son, Alex," I would tell him, coughing weakly into a tissue. "I don't know what this company would do without you." "We are family, Dad," Alex would reply, smiling warmly. "Just focus on getting better. I have everything under control." "I bet you do," I thought. Meanwhile, Silas was working around the clock. He secured certified copies of the forged deeds, the bank routing numbers tracking the $900,000 directly into Horizon Marine Supply, and the explicit text messages between Alex and Mia negotiating the split of my remaining accounts. We also obtained copies of the hospital surveillance footage from the ICU floor, capturing the exact moment Mia and Alex signed the medical directive to withdraw my life support. Everything was compiled into 3 identical leather portfolios. The night of the gala arrived. The grand ballroom of the Riverfront Hotel was spectacular. 300 guests dressed in black tie and evening gowns walked beneath crystal chandeliers, while a jazz quartet played near the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Savannah River. Champagne flowed like water. Mia was the absolute star of the evening, dazzling in a brilliant crimson silk gown, moving through the crowd like royalty. Alex stood nearby, flashing an expensive diamond watch to a group of local lifestyle reporters. He was huddled near the mayor and the chairman of the Port Authority, laughing loudly and holding a glass of 20-year-old scotch. I stood in the backstage dressing room, completely out of sight. I was wearing a tailored black tuxedo. My posture was perfectly straight, my mind entirely focused. Vance and Silas were standing beside me, along with 2 uniformed officers from the Georgia State Patrol and a white-collar crime detective from the district attorney's office. "Are we fully locked and loaded?" I asked Vance. "The freeze orders on all their personal accounts were processed 1 hour ago," Vance confirmed with a cold nod. "The moment you step on that stage, their cards turn to plastic garbage. The deeds are locked. Horizon Marine Supply has been seized by federal order. They have $0 left, Jordan." "Perfect," I said. "Let's go." At exactly 9 o'clock, the music stopped. The house lights dimmed, and Mia stepped up to the main podium on the elevated stage. The crowd gathered around, glasses raised, completely silent. She adjusted the microphone, flashing her signature predatory smile. "Thank you all so much for being here tonight to celebrate 25 years of Vanguard Marine Solutions," Mia announced, her voice echoing flawlessly through the massive ballroom. "As many of you know, this past month has been an emotional roller coaster for our family. My wonderful husband Jordan survived a horrific accident on the highway. While he has miraculously returned to us, his long journey toward neurological recovery means he can no longer handle the daily rigors of running this massive empire." A murmur of sympathy rippled through the elite crowd. Mia squeezed her eyes shut for a brief moment, feigning tears. "But Vanguard will always move forward," she continued, her voice gaining strength. "Tonight, it is my absolute honor to announce that our vice president, my son Alex, will be officially stepping up as the new chief executive officer and full managing partner of Vanguard Marine." The ballroom erupted in massive applause. Alex began walking toward the stage, adjusting his lapels, a smug, arrogant grin plastered across his face. He reached the stairs, ready to take the microphone from his mother. "Hold the applause!" I shouted. My voice didn't come from a weak, broken invalid. It boomed through the backup microphone at the side of the stage like a thunderclap. The applause died instantly. The silence that followed was so heavy you could hear the ice melting in the glasses. I stepped out from behind the heavy velvet curtain, walking with a firm, powerful stride straight to the center of the stage. I grabbed the primary microphone right out of Mia's hand. The color drained from her face so fast she looked like a corpse in a crimson dress. Her mouth opened, but only a pathetic, choked gasp came out. Alex froze on the steps, his face twisting into an expression of pure, unadulterated terror. "Jordan?" Mia whispered, her voice cracking through the sound system. "What are you doing? You are supposed to be at home. You are not well." "I am completely well, Mia," I said, my voice cutting through the ballroom like a razor blade. "In fact, my mind has never been sharper in my entire 54 years of life." I turned to face the 300 guests. The mayor was staring at me with wide eyes. The corporate clients were whispering frantically. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said into the microphone, looking out at the crowd, "I want to thank you all for coming to celebrate 25 years of my hard labor. But before we crown the new king of Vanguard Marine, I think the citizens of Savannah deserve to know exactly how my family operates behind closed doors. Exactly 30 days ago, I was lying in an ICU bed, paralyzed but fully conscious. My eyes were closed, but my ears worked perfectly. And do you want to know what my loving wife and son were discussing at my bedside? Jordan, stop this right now," Alex yelled, trying to charge up the stairs. "You are having a medical episode." Silas stepped out from the wings, his massive frame completely blocking the stairs. He grabbed Alex by the shoulder, pressing him down with an iron grip. "Let him speak, Alex," Silas said, his voice carrying across the front rows. As I lay there, unable to move, my beautiful wife Mia told my son to pull the plug. I continued, my voice steady, measured, and completely devoid of mercy. They didn't want to wait for my recovery because they had a quarterly financial deadline to meet. They wanted to bypass probate so they could divide my assets immediately. My son Alex here was worried that my business debts would interfere with his personal wealth accumulation. "Dad, please!" Alex shrieked, his face turning bright red as hundreds of high society eyes turned to look at her. "You are ruining everything." "No, Alex, you ruined yourself when you signed the papers to siphon exactly $900,000 out of Vanguard Marine operational funds into a fraudulent shell company," I roared, dropping the diplomatic tone completely. The crowd gasped. The murmurs turned into a deafening roar of whispers. "Let's talk about the numbers, shall we?" I pulled 3 leather portfolios from the podium shelf and slammed them down on the wood. "I have the routing numbers right here. I have the forged signatures right here." 2 days after my crash, while I was fighting for my life on a ventilator, Alex used a forged power of attorney to steal 50% of my personal estate. Alex was shaking violently now, his face pale as chalk. "And let's not forget my lovely wife, Mia," I said, turning my eyes directly onto her. She couldn't wait for the machines to be turned off because her 32-year-old lover, Marcus, was waiting for her at the hotel down the street, a lover she funded using my corporate accounts. I have the hotel receipts, the surveillance photos, and the titles to the sports cars right here in these folders. Mia sank to her knees right there on the stage. She didn't look at the crowd. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing uncontrollably, her expensive red dress pooling around her like spilled wine. Vance stepped forward, taking the microphone from my hand. He looked directly at the front row, where the district attorney's investigator was standing. "Detective, the portfolios contain certified bank records, handwriting analysis of the forged deeds, and full-text admissions of grand larceny, embezzlement, and corporate fraud," Vance announced clearly. The 2 state troopers marched onto the stage. The first officer walked straight to Alex, pulled his arms behind his back, and clicked a pair of steel handcuffs around his wrists in front of the entire elite crowd. The second officer stepped over to Mia, ordering her to stand up. She stumbled, her heels clicking weakly against the stage as her hands were secured behind her back. The crowd watched in absolute fascination as the police officers escorted them toward the exit, where the police cruiser lights were already flashing through the grand glass windows. I stood at the center of the stage, buttoning my tuxedo jacket. I looked down at Alex as the officers dragged him past me. "You wanted the throne, Alex," I said, my voice low enough that only he could hear it. "But you forgot who built the castle. Enjoy the state penitentiary." He didn't say a word. He just hung his head, his tears dripping onto his ruined velvet lapels. I picked up a glass of champagne from the podium, raised it high, and looked out at the stunned, silent crowd of 300 people. "The food is paid for, ladies and gentlemen," I said with a calm, genuine smile. "Please, enjoy the rest of your evening. Vanguard Marine Solutions is still open for business, and under my exclusive management, it isn't going anywhere." I drained the glass, set it down on the podium, and walked off the stage without looking back once. Outside, the Savannah night air was cool and crisp. Silas had my personal truck waiting by the curb, fully packed with my clothes, my documents, and my life. I climbed into the driver's seat, started the engine, and pulled away from the riverfront hotel, leaving the flashing blue lights of the police cars behind me. My phone buzzed on the passenger seat. It was a text from an unknown number, likely Mia using a friend's phone from the holding cell. I didn't open it. I drove straight down Bay Street, pulled over near the harbor, and tossed the device directly into the black, rushing waters of the river. They wanted me dead in a dark room. Instead, I gave them exactly what they earned. The absolute, unvarnished truth, delivered in front of everyone they ever wanted to impress. I am 54 years old. My company is entirely mine. And for the first time in 25 years, I am breathing perfectly fine on my own.